The NFL has wrapped up Week 12 of the season, and the teams definitely brought the excitement. Tom Brady's Tampa Bay Buccaneers prevailed over the Indianapolis Colts, with Leonard Fournette scoring the game-winning touchdown in the final minute of the match. Meanwhile, Green Bay quarterback Aaron Rodgers overcame his toe injury to lead the Packers to another victory this weekend, this time over the Los Angeles Rams. So Jonathan Jones is here to break down all the action on the gridiron for us, the biggest moments, the highlights, everything over the weekend. Thank you for joining us this morning. Despite bulking up their roster with big superstars, the Rams are slipping. What's going wrong with the team?
Yeah, it's a lot of style and no substance. It's a lot of glitz and glam in Los Angeles without the whatever sort of substance is supposed to be the opposite of glitz and glam in Los Angeles. And this is just a team, when you talk about classic football, you hear the old cliches, just smash it in the mouth and be more physical than the other team. The Rams are not being more physical than the other team. We've seen it now for 3 consecutive contests. You go back a couple of weeks ago when they faced the San Francisco 49ers, a team that the Rams on paper are much better than at any number of positions, but they allowed the Rams to rush for nearly 160 yards on them. And then yesterday against the Green Bay Packers, it's Lambeau Field. It's the mystique of playing there as some flurries are happening. Forget all of that. They just got beaten, and they couldn't possess the football. They only had the ball for 20 minutes, which means that Green Bay had it for 40 minutes. They allowed Green Bay to convert on third down any number of times. And Matthew Stafford, the quarterback that they traded for in the offseason in a big trade, he continues to turn the football over early in games, putting them in disadvantageous situations very early on, and they having to work out of that deficit. And for the past 3 games, they have been unable to do that.
So let's talk Pats. The New England Patriots have won 6 straight games. They are at the top of their division. Super Bowl contenders?
I don't want to say that just yet, because the Patriots have a couple of very big games coming up. They're going to play the Buffalo Bills twice in 3 weeks, and that's going to probably ultimately determine who wins the AFC East, a division that the Patriots dominated for 2 decades, that the Bills wound up winning last year on their road to the AFC title game. They also have the Indianapolis Colts in there, but the Patriots are playing good football right now. Won 6 straight, as you mentioned, and you got to look at the schedule and who they've beaten. If you look at their entire schedule, where they sit at 8-4, I think if you're being charitable, you say, all right, they've played 4 teams that I think are playoff contenders, and they are 2-2 in those games. And so are they ready to be called Super Bowl contenders? I'm not entirely sure I'm there yet, but a legitimate playoff contender who can win in January and make some noise, I'm absolutely there.
The Los Angeles Raiders broke their 3-game losing streak after an overtime win against Dallas Cowboys on Thanksgiving, and the win actually came at the right time as the fight for the AFC West is neck and neck. Who do you think will come out on top in this competitive division?
Yeah, it's an incredible division where you have the Raiders, and they seem to be finally getting things together. As you mentioned from Thanksgiving, they are having some really explosive plays on offense of 25-plus yards, and they are limiting the explosive plays on defense. You look at the Denver Broncos with a huge win yesterday, one that I frankly wasn't expecting. And then you have the Chargers as well with their young quarterback, Justin Herbert, making noise. But the team that I've yet to talk about, the team we see the team that has won this division, that has won the AFC each of the past 2 years, the Kansas City Chiefs. For so long this season, their defense was less than. It was one of the worst defenses in the NFL. Patrick Mahomes, a guy who had never thrown an interception in September, threw interceptions in September, continued to do it into October. And then it seemed like there was a shift in November, both for the offense, figuring out what defenses were doing to them and Patrick Mahomes, and for the defense, finally getting some foothold and saying, all right, we don't need to be the #1 rated defense in the NFL. We just need to be average with our offense leading the way. And so now finally that defense playing even above average these last 3 or 4 weeks. And so the Chiefs right now, what you want when you're talking about a playoff team, you want to be playing well heading into December, heading into January. And right now, I could make a pretty strong argument the Chiefs are playing as well as anyone heading into the month of December.
So More than half of the teams in the NFC are below 500. Meanwhile, in the AFC, just 4 squads have a losing record. What could explain? And this has been an ongoing thing, right? I mean, this is like, it's been, when I was a kid, the NFC, specifically the NFC East, was like the dominant, so this is dating myself, the dominant division in the NFL. And now the NFC is still struggling. Like, what's going on?
Well, I ultimately think that water is going to find its level. We're not going to end up, just on a pure mathematical basis, we're not going to end up with 12 of the 16 AFC teams with a record of 500 or above. Meanwhile, the NFC, again, with 16 teams, just seeing those 6 or 7 teams at 500 or above. The teams are going to beat up on each other here in December. The NFL does a great job when they make it their schedule of saying, okay, let's put all the division games there in December. Let's really backload the schedule with games, rivalry games, games that are really going to decide seeding in the NFL and importance. But to answer your question, what's going on between the NFC and the AFC? Why is this wild disparity happening? Well, I'll just say in the NFC, you have more instability at quarterback. The Saints lost Jameis Winston, their quarterback. They're going with backup Trevor Siemian. You had the Carolina Panthers, who have tried 3 different quarterbacks out, including most recently Cam Newton, the former NFL MVP that they had to bench against the Miami Dolphins. Detroit is down very badly right now. Seattle, Russell Wilson had the finger injury. He's come back, hasn't really looked the same since before the finger injury. You can continue on and on across the NFC. The New York Giants, of course, they don't know if they have the answer quarterback with Daniel Jones. But meanwhile, you have a lot of quarterbacks in the AFC that can just steady the ship. And maybe not great quarterbacks, maybe not top 10 or 12 quarterbacks, but guys that you say, all right, if I got to go into a game with this guy, I'm going to feel confident enough that the rest of my team around him that we can win football games. And right now, that's what's happening in the AFC. But again, water's going to find its level. By the end of all this, we're going to have 10 AFC teams and about 10 NFC teams all hovering at or around 500, and the rest kind of dropping like a rock in the river.
All right, Jonathan Jones, really great analysis, my brother. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.